Hello everybody, 10th Dr. Matt here, and welcome to vlog entry 4 of my blue suit project. So I was planning on filming this last night after I got home from work, but I ended up having a little bit of a battle with a chef's knife, and so luckily my fiance was home and she was able to bring me to the emergency room and I got a few stitches, so yeah, that was great. Didn't feel so good, didn't really sleep all that much because of the pain, so here I am. It's about, I don't know, 6:30, 7 in the morning, something like that. So I figured I'm awake and I can't really play Final Fantasy or anything else with these rubbish fingers, so I figured I might as well film this because I really wanted to get this information to you guys. So here I am with gross bedhead and in my pajamas and ready to film this thing. So we've got lots of big news for this vlog entry, so let's get started. So first big ticket item, you may have heard me say fiance a minute ago, and yes, she is no longer my girlfriend, she is my fiance now. I proposed last week, and so we're going to be getting married, so very exciting stuff there. And I don't know, I'm just super excited about it, so I wanted to share that with you guys. And as far as the Blue Suit project goes, lots of big stuff there as well. So firstly, I believe that I've got a perfect match for the blue suit fabric, so I'm going to be showing you that very shortly. And I also believe that I've got my brown fabric as perfect as it can get. I do need to fiddle a little bit more with the pinstripe color, but the brown itself, I think I've got it as close a possible match as the printing method will allow for us to get to the original Gap suit / Magnolia fabric. So let's jump right in and get started with the blue fabric. Now I remembered to adjust my tripod height so that you guys will actually be able to see these freaking swatches when I hold them up now. So this, as you probably remember from the last vlog entry, this is my blue design number 2. It's kind of confusing because it's actually number 3 in my record, but whatever. Anyway, so this is blue number 2. This was the closest match that I had from my last batch of swatches. I thought the blue was great. The pinstripes were like almost perfect. They were just a little bit too bright, a little bit too orangey. So what I did for this batch of swatches, basically I took this base blue, one other base blue that's slightly darker than this, and then one other that was quite a bit darker. And so I had 3 different blues, and then I used between 3 and 4 different colors for the stripes on each one. So I had 11 or 12 different blue designs. So obviously I'm not going to bother showing you every single blue design because a lot of them were basically just destined to go straight to the bin. You know, whether they had, the stripes were too bright, too orangey, too dark, and I'm just going to give you an example here. This was the darkest blue that I used, and again, the lighting is really kind of annoying with this because in this bright video lighting, it looks pretty good. I mean, the stripes look very orangey, so those don't look very good at all, but the blue itself looks alright. But up in like natural light, and when I took a few photos of it and stuff, all of these with this color blue looked really purple, so those just straight out the window. However, this is where it starts to get exciting. So this one I'm going to show you is blue number 6. It's the same base blue as blue number 2. And the stripes are just a little bit of a deeper red, so they came out a nicer reddish color rather than like a bright orange. So this is that, and this is one of my 2 favorites at the moment. I basically have 2 that I'm kind of trying to decide between. So I'm going to hold this up with blue number 2 so that you can get a comparison. I'm also going to put up a couple high-res scans and photos as per usual. Okay, so this is blue number 2 on the top and number 6 on the bottom. So in this lighting, I don't know if you can actually really tell the difference on the camera, but basically blue number 2, just the stripes are a little bit more rusty orangey, a little bit too bright for my liking, and the ones on the bottom are like perfect, basically, in my opinion. So there's a good shot of those 2. Alright, and this next one is blue number 12. So this is just a very, very slightly darker shade of blue than numbers 2 and 6. And this has the same pinstripe color as blue number 6. So that same nice reddish pinstripe, just a little bit darker blue. And I think, for me, right now, this is my favorite. I will hold it up with blue number 6 and number 2 in a second, just so you get a comparison. It's like really kind of difficult to tell the difference between 6 and 12. But in sort of a natural lighting, this one is just ever so slightly darker, and I think it looks a little bit better. But I definitely would love to hear your guys' opinions before I make a final decision. So let me hold those up for comparison. Okay, so here is number 6 on the top, slightly lighter blue. Number 12 on the bottom, slightly darker blue. Again, in this lighting, it's a little bit hard to actually distinguish. I think you can see that this one is very slightly brighter blue. So it's a really tough choice. I mean, I really like both of them. I think right now I'm leaning towards number 12 as being the best one, but please give me your opinion, because it is a really tough decision. And actually, now that I'm looking at it in this lighting, I kind of like number 6 better with the lighter blue, so it's tough. And like I said before, the lighting plays a huge role with this blue suit, and that's what is making it really difficult to sort of pick a winner. But I've been speaking with Primrodo. Maybe some of you know him from the RPF. He also has a YouTube channel, so I'm going to actually link that right here. He does a lot of great prop and costume reviews and that sort of stuff. And he actually had done a very similar fabric project back before Magnolia really started weaving. And he came out with a blue suit fabric that looked dead on. I mean, he held it up to the real blue suit and it looked perfect. So I am going to be sending some swatches of my fabric to him so that he can compare it to his, and also I believe he has a swatch of the original blue fabric, so I'm going to send some of mine to him so that he can compare it with that, and that way we'll know for sure. But all in all, very exciting stuff. I feel like we're basically right at the end here for the blue fabric, so once I've really gotten like 100% decided on one, I'm going to make that publicly available on Spoonflower so that we can all have it, and then I am also definitely going to be sending that off to Baron, so that hopefully they'll update their blue fabric, and also just so that I can have my suit made. So, moving on to the brown fabric. As I'm sure you remember from Vlog 3, this one was actually arguably more difficult than the blue, because with the way that the printing works, it's quite difficult to get a nice rich brown color that's dark enough without making it appear grayish or blackish. It's just the nature of the printing process, I think. So I experimented some more, and I basically ended up with 3 new shades of brown, based on the closest one I had before was one that I had tried to get from some photos of the original Gap suit. So that was the closest I had. It was just a little bit too gray, so I made 3 new brown designs, one with a little bit of a lighter brown, one with a little bit darker brown, and one that was sort of in the middle, and I just kind of played around with it and tried to make it a little bit more of like a vivid chocolatey brown, not turn out so grayish. So here is the lighter brown. Again, this is one that it looks great right here, but when we hold that up to the Magnolia fabric / original Gap fabric, this is just way too light. Not to mention that these pinstripes are too light as well. On the color guide, they looked like they would be the perfect blue, but here they look almost white. It's just too light. So I'm actually I'll hold this up next to my Magnolia suit so that you can really see the difference here in the number of different capacities. So here's the actual Magnolia suit, and here is the light brown fabric. So as you can see straight away that it's just not that good. Even, you know, in scans and photos and things, you can really tell this is quite a bit too light. This one is the darker brown that I sort of adopted from someone else who had uploaded their design, and they had seemed like quite a lot of people bought it. But there were a number of people saying that it came out too gray, so I decided to try it out myself. And so here it is, and it is definitely too gray. I mean, it's obviously darker, but I'm going to hold that up against the suit as well. So here we go. Here's the grayer one. So it's just, yeah, it's just a little bit too dull. That's really all I can say. So that one's basically for the bin. Okay, this next one I think is the best that I can get it. This one is pretty good. So this is brown number 15. The stripes are too dark, so that definitely needs some adjusting. But the brown itself, I think this is absolutely the closest that I can get to the original Gap fabric using a printing method. So let me hold this up with the suit as well. Okay, so as you can see, I mean, this is super bright lighting too, but the brown itself matches pretty closely. I mean, the suit is still a little bit darker, I guess, but I don't know that I am going to be able to tweak this brown much farther to get it closer. I mean, because the darker that I make it, the more gray it comes out. The lighter that I make it, it looks like a nice brown, but obviously it's not going to be dark enough. So I think that this brown is pretty damn close. And actually, if we look at that photo from Steve's blog of the Gap fabric versus the Magnolia fabric, it seems like the Gap fabric was ever so slightly lighter than this. So I really do think that this is going to be a pretty damn good match. So this is the only other one I had. This is brown number 17. It's the same brown as 15. This just has lighter pinstripes. And so, you know, it's like 15, the pinstripes are too dark. 17, the pinstripes are too light. So I'll kind of hold those up for comparison here. So, okay, 17 on the top, 15 on the bottom. And what's really strange here is, to me, it looks like the darker pinstripes, for some reason, make the brown appear to be a little bit different shade than this one. Maybe it's just my eyes. It's probably just an optical illusion. But tell me what you think. I mean, they look slightly different, don't they? But it's the exact same brown. It's just the pinstripes are different. So it appears to me that this one is a little bit lighter and this one's a little bit darker. So since I do need to adjust the pinstripe to be sort of in the middle between this and this, that may actually make the brown look even better as well. So you know, I'm still going to be working on that. I'll hold these both up with the suit so you can see like the real stripes. So when we compare both to the suit, I hope you can see that okay. And I apologize for the dog hair that's on here. That's what happens when you have a pet. But as you can see, these pinstripes are really, they're like exactly in the middle of my two. So I will be uploading a few more designs for the brown, just utilizing this base brown but with different pinstripe colors just to try and get that match as perfect as possible. So that pretty much does it for this vlog entry. Like I said, very excited. I think I've nailed the blue fabric, so please let me know which one you guys think is better, number 6 or number 12. And like I said about the brown, I think the base brown is good. I just need to fiddle with the pinstripes a bit more. But please let me know your opinion on that as well. I really value your input. And so all the photos and scans and things, I'm going to be putting these up on my Facebook and some on my Instagram. So I'm going to have some links if you guys want to follow me in either of those places. That's where I sort of keep track of all of these things, and also have some, you know, just general cosplay photos and fun stuff. So if you want to follow me there, feel free. So that's really it. Hopefully I'll heal up soon, and as always, thanks for watching.